Is Kirigiti Stadium in Kiambu County. This stadium, Mr. Speaker, again, I visited last week, and I have given firm instructions that, Mr. Speaker, it must be completed and handing over by the end of next month. So that, Mr. Speaker, had we completed and finished the Kirigiti Stadium, we will not be struggling at the moment to see where we will host the CHAN. And, Mr. Speaker, this will be, of course, we had a deadline of end of this year, but, Mr. Speaker, I'm trying my best to make sure that by end of October, we are done with the Kirigiti Stadium. Mr. Speaker, Jomo Kenyatta Stadium in Kisumu was completed and handed over to the county government of Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, Uhuru Stadium, Kirinyaga County, was also completed. It's only remaining handing over ceremony, Mr. Speaker, to the county government. And not just a ceremony, but also with an agreement on how maintenance will be done by the county government with a properly signed MOU. Mr. Speaker, the ministry is consulting with the county governments through Council of Governors on the management framework upon handing over Stadia to respective counties. Mr. Speaker, the third part of the question is, what are the specific measures or strategies put in place by the ministry to accelerate the completion of stalled or incomplete Stadia across the country? Mr. Speaker, the ministry, through collaboration with the School of TVET, has developed a prototype design, developed a prototype design and builds of quantities for different categories of Stadia. As I read earlier, 20,000, 15,000, up to 20,000, up to 15, up to 10, and up to 5,000 seater. We are reviewing the design and bill of quantities for completion of all stalled and incomplete Stadia, as I read earlier. And, Mr. Speaker, I have only given my team another 2 weeks. We review and start processes of paying whatever is pending. Then we can make sure that we complete this pending stadium. We do not want, again, another round of lamentations as to why we have stalled the projects. Mr. Speaker, the minister has also rationalized the budget requirement to ensure adequate funds for completion of all ongoing projects. The ministry has continued to engage with the National Treasury to prioritize the infrastructure development, and we request the National Assembly to support construction of infrastructure through budgetary allocation for adequate financing mechanism. Mr. Speaker, in every budget that is read in this country, as we speak now, we do not have a single allocation from the budget for construction of any stadium. And I request this House, as we look at many other priorities in the country, sports facilities become part of your priority areas. Mr. Speaker, this is geared for timely realization of the CHAN, as I said, and also the Africa Cup of Nations. We are exploring ways of collaborating with the private sector to enable them construct modern sports infrastructure. The ongoing review of the sports policy will provide clarity on this matter, Mr. Speaker. We are reviewing the sports policy to know how best the private sector can do the stadium. As a matter of fact, I think that government should not be owning Stadia. That is my personal position. All over the world, governments don't own stadiums. It is costing a lot of money to the taxpayer without any much return. But if it was owned by private sector, they would commercialize it, and then it would be available for sports activities. A country like UK, the only stadium that is owned by government is Wembley. The rest is owned by private companies, and they're always available for sports facilities. And this is the way to go. PPP and other modalities must be applied to make sure that these stadiums are maintained well, so that not after every 10 years we are putting billions of money to refurbish facilities that should have been income generating, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the last part of the question, or the second last part of the question, was how do we facilitate measures that we put in place to ensure timely preparation, coordination, management, and facilitation of teams to represent the country in various disciplines. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports has a key responsibility of supporting teams to represent Kenya in international competition in various disciplines. The ministry usually enters the teams in international competition held outside the country and also while hosting competitions here in Kenya. The ministry has put in place the following measures to ensure that our teams are well prepared, managed, coordinated during these games. First, the ministry has put in place funding request mechanism, which has been shared and sensitized to the sports federations. Federations submit their requirement for next financial